Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about the Easter story, which is a bit of a sad story, but it's happy in the end, so don't worry. So, do you remember last week when Jesus went to Jerusalem with his friends and he was riding on a donkey and everybody was really pleased to see him and they shouted and waved? Well, there were some people that weren't pleased to see him. They were not happy at all. They were jealous of Jesus because they wanted the people to like them instead of Jesus. They were the bad men. So they decided that they would catch Jesus and he would have to die. So they caught Jesus and they took him to a hill where there's a big wooden cross, and they put him on the cross and they had to nail his hands to the cross, which wasn't very nice. It must have been very painful, and they left him there to die. So when he had died, they took him down from the cross and put him in a cave. They rolled a big stone in front of the doorway so that nobody could go in or out. And the next day, Jesus' friends, including Mary, came to the cave, and they got a big surprise because the stone wasn't in front of the doorway anymore and Jesus wasn't there. In fact, this is the happy bit because Jesus had come back to life. So that's the story of Easter. Jesus died and then he came back to life. So I thought we could sing another verse of our song now. Jesus died and came back to life again. Jesus died and came back to life again. Jesus died and came back to life again. Early in the morning. 1, 2, 3, hooray. 1, 2, 3, hooray. 1, 2, 3, hooray. Early in the morning.
How to make an Easter garden. First of all, gather a few things together. Most importantly, a container to put your garden in. Anything will do. I have used a meat tray, but it could be a saucer or an old plant tray. You will also need some soil, some rocks, a few little plants or flowers and some moss. Also something to make a cross with. I have used a bit of a stick here. You could use a lolly stick or just cut it out of cardboard. Put your soil in the tray and arrange your stones to look like a cave or a tomb with a big stone at the front. If you don't have any stones, you could use half of a plant pot or half of a yogurt pot instead. Cut your stick into 2 pieces and then tie together to make a cross. You can make a little path using a bit of gravel or some small stones. Now add your moss and your little plants or flowers. A bit of water will help it to stay looking fresh and nice. If you cannot get outside, you can still make an Easter garden. Here are a selection of things that you could find in the house to use. There are many more things you could use too. It could look like this. Happy Easter, everyone.
Easter eggs at Easter, and we talk about bunny rabbits and lambs. It's because inside an egg there is a new life. Not a chocolate egg, of course, a real egg, like an egg from a hen, got a little chicken inside, and that's a new life. And the same with baby rabbits and lambs, they're like new life as well. So that's why, because at Easter we talk about a new life. So I thought now we could sing our song right from the beginning, and it starts with Joseph and Mary going to Bethlehem. Joseph and Mary rode a donkey, Joseph and Mary rode a donkey, Joseph and Mary rode a donkey all the way to Bethlehem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, clip clop, 1, 2, 3, clip clop, all the way to Bethlehem. Baby Jesus was born in a stable, baby Jesus was born in a stable, baby Jesus was born in a stable early in the morning. 1, 2, 3, shh, 1, 2, 3, shh, 1, 2, 3, shh, early in the morning. Jesus and his friends went to Jerusalem, Jesus and his friends went to Jerusalem, Jesus and his friends went to Jerusalem, riding on a donkey. 1, 2, 3, clip clop, 1, 2, 3, clip clop, 1, 2, 3, clip clop, riding on a donkey. Jesus died and came back to life again, Jesus died and came back to life again, Jesus died and came back to life again, early in the morning. 1, 2, 3, hooray, 1, 2, 3, hooray, 1, 2, 3, hooray, early in the morning. So that's the story of Easter. Jesus died and then he came back to life. See you next time. Bye.
Oh, Dave the donkey, he's just a donkey. Dave the donkey, yeah.
Dave the donkey was so excited. He had been watching all week for Grandpa Donkey to get back from Jerusalem. Dave had some big news he had been waiting to share with him. Grandpa, guess what? I carried the king into Jerusalem. You're joking, Dave. No, Grandpa, I carried the king. I was standing out front, minding my own business, when the king's servant untied me and led me to the king. The king jumped on my back, and we charged down the hill and up the mountain to Jerusalem. The crowd waved palm branches, and everyone cheered, "Hooray for the king! Long live the king!" We said goodbye, and I headed home, leaving the king to get on with the job of being king. So, Grandpa, you've been in Jerusalem since then. Tell me what happened next. Did the crowd keep cheering for the king? Well, Dave, the crowd was yelling for the king. Wow, said Dave, and I'm sure all the leaders came to meet him. Yes, sighed Grandpa, the king did meet all the leaders. And Grandpa, they would have placed a golden crown upon the king's head. They certainly crowned the king, but the crown wasn't made of gold. The throne, Grandpa. They must have led the king into the palace, sat him on the throne, and cheered, "Long live the king!" "No, Dave," sighed Grandpa. "There was no throne. They led the king out of Jerusalem, and they nailed him to a cross." Dave was stunned. "A cross? So the king is dead?" "No, Dave. The king was dead. The king was placed in a tomb, and the tomb was sealed with a heavy stone. But now the king is alive. He was dead, but the tomb is empty, and the king is alive." Dave stared across the valley to Jerusalem as the strange and wonderful news rolled through his mind. The king was dead, but now he is alive. "Grandpa," asked Dave, "did you ever carry someone special that you will never forget?" "Yes, Dave," said Grandpa. "As a matter of fact, I did. It was long ago on a starry night like this. I carried someone special that I will never forget." "Long live the king, Dave! Long live the king!"
Whoa, oh, oh, Dave the donkey, he's just a donkey. Dave the donkey, yeah.